Hello everyone and welcome back to Gunners Talk Daily, where we bring you the latest matchday updates, squad news and everything happening around the Gunners. Tonight is a huge moment in the Premier League title race because Arsenal FC have officially arrived at the Emirates Stadium ahead of their crucial clash against Everton FC. The Arsenal squad made their way into the stadium earlier today as preparations continued for what could be a very important evening for Mikel Arteta and his players. Right now, the Gunners sit 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. But if Arsenal manage to defeat Everton tonight, that lead could stretch to 10 points, at least temporarily, before Pep Guardiola and Manchester City take on West Ham United later in the evening. So there is a real opportunity for Arsenal to apply pressure in the title race. And when you look at the Gunners' home form this season, they will feel confident heading into this match. Arsenal have suffered only one defeat at home in all competitions this season, and since that loss against Manchester United, they have remained unbeaten at the Emirates. Their most recent match was the Champions League first leg against Bayer Leverkusen, which finished 1-1 in Germany. It was not Arsenal's most dominant performance, but the team managed to stay in the tie thanks to a dramatic late moment. Substitute Noni Madueke won a penalty late in the game, and Kai Havertz stepped up to convert the spot kick and secure the equaliser. That goal ensured Arsenal return to North London with everything still to play for in the second leg next week. However, before the team can focus on Europe again, their full attention must be on Everton tonight. The visitors arrive in North London with one of the strongest away records in the Premier League this season. Everton have not lost an away league match since their defeat against Chelsea FC back in December. Since then, they have recorded impressive victories away from home, including wins at Old Trafford, Villa Park and St James Park. That means Arsenal cannot afford to underestimate them. The last meeting between the two teams came earlier this season when Arsenal secured a narrow victory away from home. Striker Victor Gyokeres scored the winning goal from the penalty spot to secure a 1-0 victory for the Gunners. And interestingly, recent matches between Arsenal and Everton have not produced many goals, which suggests this could once again be a tight contest. Looking at team news ahead of the match, Arsenal are still assessing a couple of important players. Captain Martin Odegaard missed the Champions League match during the week and remains under evaluation as the medical team continues to monitor his recovery. Meanwhile, Leandro Trossard also missed that game and will undergo further checks before the final decision is made about his availability. The good news for Arsenal fans is that there are no new major injury concerns from the midweek match. Defender Ben White has recently returned to the matchday squad, providing another option in defence. Midfielder Mikel Merino remains the club's only long-term injury concern following a foot operation last month. For Everton, there are also a few injury concerns. Both Carlos Alcaraz and Seamus Coleman are expected to miss the match due to knocks. There are also fears that Jack Grealish could miss the remainder of the season after suffering a stress fracture in his foot. Despite those setbacks, Everton still arrive with plenty of confidence. Under manager David Moyes, the Toffees have transformed their season. They now sit 8th in the Premier League table and are even dreaming about qualifying for European football next season. Defensively, they have also been extremely solid, conceding just 33 goals in 29 matches. That defensive organisation could make life difficult for Arsenal tonight. Historically, though, the Emirates Stadium has been a very tough place for Everton to visit. The Toffees have won only one of their last 29 away league matches against Arsenal. It is also worth noting that this fixture is one of the most frequently played matches in English football history. Arsenal versus Everton has been played more than 200 times in the top flight, making it one of the longest-running rivalries in English league football. Another interesting detail ahead of the match is the referee appointment. Andy Madley will take charge of the game. This will be his first Arsenal match of the season, although he has previously overseen several Everton matches. So everything is now set for a fascinating evening at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal have the chance to increase their lead in the Premier League title race and send a strong message to Manchester City. But Everton's impressive away form means this will certainly not be an easy match. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Arsenal will extend their lead at the top of the table tonight? And what is your score prediction for Arsenal versus Everton? Let me know in the comments below. In other news, with Arsenal currently leading the Premier League, every piece of team news is crucial as the Gunners prepare for another important weekend. Let us begin with the latest updates from the training ground. The positive news for Mikel Arteta is that there have been no new injury concerns following the midweek Champions League draw with Bayer Leverkusen. Arteta confirmed that the squad came through that match without additional problems, which is an important boost during such a busy schedule. Win against Everton and Arsenal go 10 points clear at the top of the Premier League. 10 points, with Manchester City heading to West Ham on Saturday evening, having just been dismantled 3-0 by Real Madrid in the Champions League on Wednesday night, a result that has effectively ended their European ambitions and left their squad emotionally and physically drained at the worst possible time. The opportunity Arsenal have this weekend is one that does not come around often. If the Gunners take care of business at the Emirates on Saturday, they will have created a gap so significant, so psychologically devastating for City, and so clearly within their control to maintain, that the question of who wins the Premier League title this season will become less of a debate and more of an inevitability. But first, the hard work. First, the preparation. First, the training sessions and the tactical meetings and the injury assessments that will determine exactly who Mikel Arteta has available for what promises to be an enormously important 90 minutes. The mood at Sober Realty this week has been one of measured determination rather than celebration. The Leverkusen draw kept the Champions League tie alive and gave Arsenal a precious away goal, but the performance in Germany was below the level this squad demands of itself, and Arteta has made clear in everything he has communicated publicly this week that a professional and intense response is required against Everton. The players know it, the coaching staff know it, and the training sessions this week have reflected that knowledge with the kind of sharp, driven, detail-oriented work that has been a hallmark of this club's preparation throughout the entire campaign. Let us go through the injury picture in detail, because understanding who is available and who is not tells you almost everything you need to know about how Arsenal will line up on Saturday and what the tactical approach is likely to be. The best news of the week is that William Saliba came through Wednesday's Champions League tie at Leverkusen completely without incident, having returned from the ankle injury that kept him out of the Brighton and Mansfield games. The Frenchman trained fully on Tuesday before the squad flew to Germany, started the match, played the entire 90 minutes, and has returned to the Sober Realty Training Centre this week in good health and good spirits. Saliba's importance to this Arsenal team cannot be overstated. When he is on the pitch, Arsenal have a defensive foundation that is as solid and as commanding as any in European football. When he is absent, the team looks noticeably more vulnerable, as the Chelsea and Brighton performances demonstrated. Having him available, fit and fresh for Saturday is one of the most significant pieces of team news Arsenal supporters could have hoped for heading into this weekend. Gabriel Magalhaes is also fit and available after returning from the rest that was given to him for the Mansfield Cup tie, and his partnership with Saliba at centre-back is the defensive bedrock on which Saturday's performance must be built. The Brazilian has been in outstanding form throughout the second half of the season, scoring from corners, dominating aerial duels, and providing the kind of aggressive defensive leadership that Arteta's system demands from its centre-backs. Against an Everton side that will look to be direct and physical in attack, the Saliba-Gabriel partnership will be tested, but should have more than enough quality and experience to come through that test comfortably. Declan Rice has returned to full training after being rested for the Mansfield game, and the England midfielder's presence in the squad this week has been an immediate lift for everyone around him. Rice is the engine of this Arsenal team, the player whose energy and intensity sets the tone for everything the squad does in and out of possession, and having him back available after a precautionary rest brings a dimension of quality and dynamism back to the midfield that was clearly missed during the subdued Leverkusen performance. Martin Zubimendi is similarly back in full training after his own rest against Mansfield, and the Spanish midfielder's ability to control tempo, protect the back four, and circulate the ball with precision and intelligence makes him an essential component of the system that Arteta has built this season. The ongoing Martin Odegaard situation remains the one persistent cloud over an otherwise improving Arsenal injury picture. The captain is still unavailable, still managing the knee issue that has now kept him out of 4 consecutive matches since his substitute appearance in the North London derby, and there is no realistic expectation that he will be fit for Saturday's game against Everton. Arteta has not provided any specific timeline for the Norwegian's return, but the broader picture suggests that the international break at the end of March could be the period that finally allows Odegaard to rest completely and recover fully, with the Carabao Cup final against Manchester City at Wembley on March 22nd emerging as the most realistic and most emotionally resonant target for his comeback. Until then, Arsenal must continue to find creative solutions to the number 10 problem, and those solutions have actually been more than adequate given the performances Eze and Kai Havertz have produced in Odegaard's absence. Leandro Trossard missed the Leverkusen trip entirely after failing to recover from the knock he sustained at Mansfield, and Arteta indicated at his Friday press conference that he would be providing a further update on the Belgian's availability. The expectation within the camp is that Trossard remains a significant doubt for Saturday, with the focus being on managing his recovery carefully to ensure he is available for the more important fixtures that follow, including the Leverkusen second leg at the Emirates on Tuesday. If Trossard can make the bench on Saturday, it would be a valuable option for Arteta to deploy in the second half if the game requires a different type of wide attacking contribution. But starting him against Everton while he is still not at full fitness would be an unnecessary risk given the depth of quality available in other areas. Riccardo Calafiori is pushing for a return to the starting lineup after being left out of the Leverkusen squad, having recovered from the knock he picked up at Mansfield. The Italian defender trained this week and is expected to be available for selection, with Arteta potentially bringing him in at left back to give Piero Hincapié a rest ahead of Tuesday's crucial second leg. Calafiori, when fit, brings something genuinely unique to Arsenal's defensive setup: his ability to carry the ball forward from the back and his comfort in tight spaces when building from deep, making him one of the most progressive and most technically gifted defensive options Arteta has at his disposal. His return on Saturday would strengthen the left side of the defence considerably and give Arsenal an additional dimension in possession that has been slightly missing in the last couple of matches. Ben White's situation continues to be monitored carefully, with the right back having travelled to Germany with the squad despite missing Tuesday's open training session, suggesting he is edging closer to fitness without yet being fully available. White has now been absent for the best part of a month, and while there remains no clear public explanation of the exact nature of his problem, the fact that he made the trip to Germany is a positive indicator that his return is approaching. Whether he is ready to start against Everton on Saturday remains uncertain, but his presence in training this week will have given everyone a clearer picture of his condition, and Arteta will make the final decision on his involvement based on what the medical staff report after the week's sessions. Jurrien Timber is expected to continue at right back if White is not yet fit to return, and the Dutchman has been one of Arsenal's most consistent performers throughout the second half of the season, with his winning goal against Chelsea from a corner routine being one of the defining moments of the title run-in. Timber's energy, his ability to get forward and contribute to attacking moves, and his defensive solidity make him a highly capable deputy at right back, and the competition for the position when White returns will be a fascinating subplot of Arsenal's final weeks. Mikel Merino remains the one definite long-term absentee, the Spanish midfielder continuing his recovery from foot surgery, with the May timeline still the earliest realistic target for any potential involvement. His absence throughout this crucial period has been keenly felt, but the performances of Rice, Zubimendi and the returning Havertz have ensured that the midfield has maintained its quality and its balance despite the loss of a player who brings significant technical quality and physicality. The selection decisions for Saturday are the kind that managers dream of having: a blend of quality options and interesting questions that reflect the depth of talent available in this Arsenal squad. Bukayo Saka is a player whose involvement will be carefully managed given the Champions League second leg on Tuesday, with Arteta having to weigh the importance of Saturday's 10-point opportunity against the need to have his most important attacking player fully fresh and fully sharp for what will be the most critical European night of the entire season. Noni Madueke, who won the penalty in Leverkusen that led to the Havertz equaliser, is knocking loudly on the door for a starting opportunity and would provide energy, directness and the kind of impact from wide areas that has made him such a valuable member of the squad whenever he has been given his chance. Victor Gyokeres continues to lead the line, and despite a frustrating night in Germany where the chances were limited by the team's overall below-par performance, his physical presence, his link play and his constant movement created